All right, what is going on, you guys? I'm going to show you how I beat Maluca. And before I even begin, it may look like it's easy. I may make it look easy at times, but trust me, it took a while to get this boss down. Okay, this is one of the toughest bosses in the game. I had some heartbreaking losses, let me tell you. It was rough, but I went through that pain in order to help you guys out. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about my gear. I'm going to show you guys real quick my armor that I was using. I kind of mixed and matched a little bit, and any other stats or anything I can put on the screen for you to help you out, I will do so right now. So hopefully that helps, and let's go ahead and get to the fight. So you're going to notice he always starts off with this attack. It's a double hit where it's a little bit delayed, but you want to just do your best to perfect guard this, block it at the very least. Sometimes I would block it, sometimes I would actually execute perfect guards. And I noticed that he usually follows up with either an opportunity for us to counterattack, or he will follow up with this other combo, which is basically him lunging forward with both of his swords, and then he does a spin move that you're going to guard 2 times back to back. So think of it as a delay before the spin attack, and then as the spin attack is going, no delay. You're going to want to parry back to back. And then he'll do an overhead smash like this, and you're going to want to perfect guard that as well if you can, and then of course block at the very least. You want to just survive this first phase. It's not as difficult as the second phase, and I feel it's much more manageable just to get his health down. And we're going to be doing that by getting his poise down immensely, because we're going to welcome these combos. We're going to want these combos, especially in the second phase, and we'll get to that. But as you can see, as I'm landing some of these perfect guards and these blocks, it's exhausting him in a sense. Like, he's not fully exhausted, but he does slow down after those attacks. And it's because his swords are so heavy. So after he does his combos and you block or perfect guard them, you're just going to want to put in damage afterwards. Now he also does these attacks where he slams the ground and there's splash damage. You want to either block that or you can dodge through it. Either one I tried to do. And then he also does these moves where he's just kind of shooting something out of his sword, kind of like wind. You're going to want to perfect guard those too. You got to fight him a few times to learn that timing. So don't get yourself down if you're not learning it right away. It's going to take a few tries to really get it down. Now, getting to the second phase is pretty simple after you've done it a few times, but the second phase itself is pretty wild and what really gave me a lot of trouble. And it always starts off the same. He does this move where he jumps in the air, you can parry that, and then he puts something in the ground, you can kind of back up a little bit like I did, so you're not hit by that. Then he does this slow motion move that you can dodge through every time. And then he backs up and does this kind of nice looking attack there to the ground, and it looks sick. But then after that, it just goes crazy. And all you're really gonna want to do here is survive as best as possible, because I feel with the katanas, he's at his hardest. Okay, and you're going to want to survive this part of the fight, so that way he brings out his other swords, which we've seen already, the 2 big great swords, because it's going to make it easier. So as you can see, he does a very devastating move where he tucks in his katana and then he slashes at you like this. To get this timing down can be very difficult, but as we slow it down, you're going to see a visual cue here. If you watch the boss, he's going to start to tuck his katana, and then when he does a little extra tuck, that's when you're going to want to block. That's when you're going to get that perfect guard. And it's so fast. It can feel so defeating, but as you start to feel it out and experience it more and more, you'll get it down. It just takes time. At the very least, just try and block as soon as you can, because you'll at least do that. But man, if you can land that perfect guard, it's devastating for him. So that's your focus. You really want to land these when you can. But do not dodge this. Do not try and run away from this. Definitely try your best to perfect guard, because we want to do our best to make it through the katana stage of this second phase. You want to get him to get his great swords out again, because we've seen those combos in the first phase. You know how to do those combos. And he also jumps in the air a lot with his great swords, and then he lands into the ground, which can be way more manageable when it comes to perfect guarding. I just feel like it was easier for me to do that, And so I'm gonna guess that maybe it's easier for you guys too. You wanna make the most out of the situation when he has his great swords out. So that means getting him exhausted, getting his poise down, doing all of that, and then putting in as much damage as possible when he is exhausted. Because once he brings those katanas back out, it's gonna get real again. So keep that in mind. When he brings out those great swords, that's when you really, really wanna make him pay. He's going to spice it up a bit and do moves like this where he's just doing them back to back to back, and you're just going to want to go ahead and perfect guard those as well, block them as good as possible, and that's mostly the extreme of it. I feel like everything else with the great swords, he's mostly in the air and going down into the ground, or he's doing his combos that you've seen before, and again, that's when you want to make him pay. I swear, every time he took out his katanas, I was just like, oh no, because it does get harder. As you can see, I start to kind of stink it up a little bit. My hands were very sweaty. I was getting nervous. I start making mistakes, and that very well could happen to you too. But just hang in there. Do your best to survive, because again, we want to see those great swords. We want to make it. And so you just want to do your best to time your perfect guards, to time this move right here. That's very killer if you can get that down, and then just keep in the fight and keep blocking at the very least. And so I'm watching it with you guys, and I'm keeping a distance here. I do a couple javelins just to get some more damage in there. I missed one. That's great. He comes by to attack again, and I'm just trying my best to survive. As you can see, I'm not getting perfect guards. I'm not really doing my best, but I'm just hanging in there. And he does do this where he puts up his katanas as if to block, and you can't really do much. You just kind of have to wait that out, maybe throw a javelin or two at his head. But other than that, you're going to be waiting for the perfect guards. You're going to be waiting for his attacks. Don't overexert yourself. Dodge if you have to, if you absolutely have to. But for the most part, you want to just stay in front of him and just be ready to perfect guard. As you can see, I'm not getting them all, but I'm doing my best. And sometimes it's blocking, but it's still me surviving. And so I just hang in there, stay with him, stay in front. And I remember being so nervous at this part. It was nuts. Right there, I dodged, which is fine. If you got to dodge, you got to dodge. And here we go with the great swords again, right? So he's doing that combo like we've seen before. I'm ready for the counter attack. Boom, got him. And he's almost done, but trust me, it's never over till it's over. So don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get cocky. Trust me, it could easily go downhill. So just stay focused, take your time, don't get greedy, okay? Do not get greedy, and just take what you can. Oh, another thing I want to mention is the counterattack. If you miss the beginning of it, you can make up for it in the rest of the attack. So you're going to see right here, I kind of missed it at first, but then I tapped it again on my controller, and then I was able to finish the rest of it and still land the counter attack. So don't give up. If you feel like you missed it, but you're still in control and you're about to press the buttons, go ahead and press them. It will happen, okay? And as we watch the end of this, I just want to say you want to pace yourself. I know. It's very easy to want to just wail on this guy. You're so close. He's right there. But still, try your best to have patience and not overexert and not be too aggressive. You want to stay aggressive enough, but not to the point where it's detrimental to you, okay? I hope you guys get this done, because this fight is crazy and it's probably having you feeling defeated, but you can do it, all right? If I could do it, you could do it. And it took me a few hours. It took me at least 2 hours. I can't even remember. It's like a blur, but it's worth it, man. This guy, he can be downloaded. You can do this, all right? So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped. Let me know if it did, and I will catch you in my next one, all right? Bye.